Hi, friends. Today's story is full of secrets, family drama, and some big surprises. So grab a drink, get comfy, and enjoy the video. People say family is everything, but I've learned that what really matters isn't always just DNA. My name is Mel Anderson, and up until 3 months ago, I thought the biggest surprise of my life was finding out I was adopted. Turns out I was wrong. I was adopted as a baby by James and Maria Anderson. They're amazing parents who always made me feel loved. They never kept my adoption a secret. It was just part of who we were, like Dad's cheesy jokes or Mom's famous apple pie. I always felt like a real Anderson. At least I did, until Aunt Karen made it a problem. It all started when the family planned a big reunion for Grandpa Anderson's 90th birthday. Everyone was excited. People were flying in from all over, and we were going to celebrate at Grandpa's farmhouse in Vermont. It was going to be the biggest Anderson reunion ever. Everyone was happy about it, except Aunt Karen. She's Grandpa's oldest daughter, and she basically put herself in charge of planning the whole thing. She also had strong opinions about who should be invited. I found out what she really thought at a family dinner at her house. Karen was going over the guest list with my mom, talking about who was coming and where they'd stay. "We need to be accurate," she said, barely glancing at me. "This is a gathering for real Andersons. Blood relatives only." The room went silent. My dad dropped his fork. "What are you saying, Karen?" my mom asked sharply. Karen smoothed out her fancy blouse. "You know what I mean. This reunion is about the Anderson family history and our bloodline. Michelle is lovely, but she's not really an Anderson." Not really an Anderson. Those words hit hard. After 28 years of being part of this family, sharing holidays, memories, and love, I was being told I didn't really belong. Dad tried to speak up, but Karen cut him off. "James, be reasonable. This isn't personal, it's about our heritage. There'll be a family tree presentation, old family heirlooms, talks about genetics. Michelle wouldn't fit in." "The only one making her feel like she doesn't fit in is you," my mom shot back. But Karen kept going. "I've already spoken with the reunion committee. We all agreed, blood relatives only. It just keeps things simple." The committee was just her daughter Jessica and a couple of cousins who always went along with her. I grew up with Jessica. We shared secrets and clothes as teenagers. Now, she couldn't even look me in the eye. "This is ridiculous," Dad said. "If Michelle's not invited, then we're not going." "Don't be dramatic," Karen said. "You're the oldest son, you have to come. Maria's helping with the photo display. You both have responsibilities." That's when I stood up. "Don't worry, Dad. I wouldn't want to mess up the perfect Anderson bloodline with my adopted self." "Michelle," my mom reached for me, but I was already leaving. "Go to the reunion," I said. "Grandpa deserves to have his real family there. According to Aunt Karen, anyway." I left, even though my parents called after me. On the drive home, I kept thinking about all the times Karen made me feel different, like that Christmas she gave heirloom jewelry to all the grandkids but skipped me, or how she always introduced me as James and Maria's adopted daughter. But something else bugged me too, how strongly she pushed the idea of only blood relatives. It felt like she was hiding something. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about a photo Mom was sorting for Grandpa's birthday, a Polaroid from a family picnic the year before I was adopted. Karen looked strange in it, standing off to the side, with a weird look on her face. The next morning, I called in sick to work and drove to my parents' house. Mom wasn't home, but I had a key. I went straight to the dining room, where the old photo boxes were still sitting. I found the picnic photo pretty quickly. It was taken in the summer of 1994, just 3 months before my birth parents chose the Andersons to adopt me. Everyone was in it, sitting on blankets, holding paper plates, smiling and relaxed. Everyone except Karen. She was standing at the edge of the photo, with one hand on her stomach and her face turned away from the camera. She wore a loose sundress, which was odd for her. She usually dressed in fitted, stylish clothes. And the date on the photo? Just 6 months before she had a quick wedding to Uncle Steve. My mom always called it a rush ceremony. That's when a wild idea popped into my head. I was born in January 1995. Karen got married in December 1994. The timing? No. It couldn't be.
Could it?
I snapped a picture of the Polaroid and grabbed my laptop. I spent hours digging online. A lot of hospital records from back then were now digital. After some deep searching, I found what I was looking for. A birth record from St. Mary's Hospital on January 15, 1995. My birth record. It listed my birth mother as Jane Doe, a common name used for closed adoptions. But something else stood out. A nurse's note that was probably misfiled during the digitization process. It said, "Patient requested complete confidentiality. Family connection to hospital board member K.A. noted." K.A. Karen Anderson. My hands were shaking as I opened the website of a DNA testing company. I'd never tried one before. I wanted to respect my birth parents' privacy. But now, I ordered the test. It arrived 2 days later. As I swabbed my cheek, I couldn't stop thinking about Karen and how she kept pushing the idea of blood relatives only at the reunion, about the way she always kept her distance from me, and how, unlike everyone else in the family, she never once asked if I wanted to find out who my birth parents were. 6 weeks later, I got a notification on my phone. "Your DNA results are ready." And just like that, everything I thought I knew about my life completely changed. I thought I knew what family meant, but that belief started falling apart. The DNA results loaded slowly. First, it showed my ethnic background, mostly Northern European, just like the Andersons. Then, it listed health traits, including a risk of high blood pressure, another Anderson family trait. But it was the list of DNA matches that stopped me cold. First match, Jessica Anderson. Relationship, half-sister. Second match, James Anderson. Relationship, father. That meant James wasn't just my uncle. He was my biological father, which meant Karen was my birth mother. The room spun around me. I grabbed my phone and called Mom, my real mom, the one who raised me. "Michelle?" She answered right away. "What's wrong?" "I need you and Dad to come over."
Now.
"And bring the photo album from 1994. They arrived 20 minutes later. I didn't say anything. I just turned my laptop so they could see the DNA results. Mom's face went pale. Dad looked shocked. "How long have you known?" I asked.
We didn't, Dad said.
"We had a feeling, but Karen never confirmed it." Mom held my hand. "When we were picked to adopt you, they told us it was a closed adoption. But the social worker hinted it might be someone from the family. At the hospital, I saw Karen. She said she was visiting a friend, but begged us not to say anything. She said it would ruin her life and her relationship with Steve. We didn't want to lose you, so we agreed." "It makes sense now," I said, the puzzle pieces clicking into place. Karen's cold behavior. Her obsession with blood relatives. Her refusal to talk about my birth parents. "We should have told you," Mom whispered, crying. "But you were our daughter, and we thought it didn't matter how you came to us." I hugged them tightly. "It's okay. You're still my parents. That hasn't changed. Does Grandpa know?" I asked. Dad shook his head. "I don't think so. Karen told everyone she was staying with a cousin in Maine back then." I looked over at the reunion invitation on my table. The big Anderson family reunion was in 3 days. Karen had planned it all to celebrate family history. But I had a history to share, too. "I'm going," I said firmly. "Michelle," Mom began.
No.
"I'm done being treated like I don't belong. If Karen wants to talk about Anderson blood, let's talk about it." When we got to Grandpa's farm, the reunion was already in full swing. The yard was full of people, kids playing, and barbecue smoke in the air. A big sign read, "Welcome, Anderson family," in Karen's fancy handwriting. Karen saw us right away. Her smile vanished. "I thought we agreed," she said, stepping in front of us. "This is for blood relatives only." "Funny you should say that," I interrupted. "Or should I say, Mom?" The glass in her hand slipped and shattered on the porch. Everyone went quiet. "What did you just say?" she asked, barely above a whisper. I pulled out my phone and showed her the DNA results. "I have proof. It's all here, genetics, family connections. Amazing what a test can uncover." "That was private," she hissed. "Private? Like how you made me feel like I didn't belong my whole life. Like a secret you were ashamed of." Keep your voice down, she begged. Why? I said loudly. Isn't this reunion about family history? Well, here's some history. 28 years ago, Karen Anderson had a baby. She gave that baby to her brother and pretended it never happened. Then she spent the next 28 years making sure that child never felt like part of the family. Gasps filled the porch. Jessica froze on the steps, staring. Then we heard Grandpa's voice. He had wheeled himself outside without anyone noticing. Karen, is this true? He asked. Is Michelle your daughter? Karen's tough shell cracked. I was young, she said. I wasn't married. I thought it would ruin my life. So you gave her away, Grandpa said. Then you treated her like she didn't matter. I gave her to good parents. What else was I supposed to do? Karen shouted. Love her, Jessica said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. You were supposed to love her like you love me, she continued. Instead, you made me treat my own sister like a stranger. The next few hours were full of arguments, tears, and stunned silence. Uncle Steve stormed off, angry about the lies. Some cousins looked embarrassed for ever taking Karen's side. But something good happened too. Jessica hugged me, really hugged me. I always wanted a sister, she said. Grandpa asked to hear all about my life and proudly said my career in architecture must come from a side of the family. Karen left early. She called it a spectacle. But after she left, the air felt lighter. For the first time, I felt like a true Anderson, no more adopted, no more second-class treatment. That night, Grandpa gave a short speech under the stars. Family, he said, isn't about secrets.
It's not just about blood.
It's about love. And Michelle has always been part of this family, not because of DNA, but because of the love we share. A year has passed since that day. Karen still doesn't talk to me. That's okay. Jessica and I are closer than ever. She's having a baby and I'm going to be an aunt. Mom and Dad are still my parents. Knowing the truth didn't change that. It made our bond even stronger. Last week, I got a package from Grandpa. Inside was a jewelry box with a note in his shaky handwriting. This belonged to your grandmother. She would have wanted her granddaughter to have it. Not because of blood, but because of a love you've shown. Love, Grandpa. It was the necklace Karen never gave me all those years. Now it sits in my jewelry box, not as proof of bloodlines, but as a symbol of what truly matters. Family is about love, not secrets. It's about honesty, connection, and healing. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes it sets you free. And sometimes it helps you find the family you always had, waiting for you to claim your place.